It's not spooky music. It's mysterious Sunman music. Mystery is not spooky. I guess mystery is spooky. As soon as I said it out loud, I'm like, ah, yes, you're right. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is not on this virtual console. Trust me, you would know when it came out. It's gonna come out like as soon as I leave for my trip, and then we're not gonna be able to play it, and I'm gonna be mad. Many such cases. And by many such cases, I mean, I think that happened like once before. Where a game came out during the beginning of a period where I couldn't play video game. I think that's when, I think that happened when Hero came out, like right before like I moved to Japan for 2 years. Not important. I have had the opening on loop for like 20 minutes, or for like 20 years. Hold on. We can at least, if it's not about spoilers, we can at least talk about it on stream. Hold on. We're starting the stream. We're starting the stream. Good sunny day, everybody. It's your friendly and intergalactic sun prince of the sun, Enyo Solaris Tomoshimasu. We're back at you with a sad Bleach discussion. And I got Azerad with me. Say hi.
Hello.
It's Azerad. I always thought, I was like, it can't be Azerad. That's way too cool of a name, but so I was called him Azerid for like a year and a half, and he never corrected me.
Because a lot of people say it like that, surprisingly, but...
Also, Azerad will have an official corporeal form, at some point.
Hooray.
I know. From the beginning, it's always supposed to be like, I would like if you guys had corporeal forms. Anyway, we're talking about Bleach. The reason the stream's 20 minutes late is because we were talking about spoiler and stuff. Mostly, like, how much gosh dang filler and horribly paced a lot of the later episodes of Bleach are. Because, like, Ichigo doesn't get a fight for a whole ass, like, 100 episodes.
And he's not even really training either, so it's like...
He's just kind of, you know, hanging out.
I think he's running for a while.
Running? Is he running? I think he's just kind of chilling. I think he's getting healed or something.
I forget.
Did I complain about, that one dude, what's that guy? It was the random jackass from the Soul Society arc who healed people.
Oh, he's voiced by Shinji in the dub.
Are you crazy?
Shinji from Evangelion.
Oh, from Evangelion. I thought Shinji from Bleach, i.e. Sonic the Hedgehog. I swear I had his name written down somewhere further down in my notes. It was like Hina. It had the word flower in it. That's why everyone was making fun of him. Hina. I'm losing it. Anyway, that guy's a very much of a plot convenience, which is why he's very hard to remember. Because he's basically only there to heal Ichigo after the Renji fight and tell Ichigo where Rukia is being held. Like, that's his only purpose in the story.
He doesn't even really get an arc where he stops being, like, cowardly or anything.
Yeah, they show off his Zanpakuto toe at some point. I don't remember. That might be, like, in a side story.
I wonder if that's filler, because I don't remember that.
I think it's in, you know, at the end of every episode, there's, like, the illustrated guide to Soul Reapers thing.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's in that. I think... Which, I don't know how to do. I think we'll just do a separate discussion of that, because, if you skip the fillers, then you'll also skip some of those, and, like, I don't know, you don't really need to see it. I think the only thing that happens. The only thing that really happens that's relevant to the series is it explains how Kon got to the Soul Society post time skip.
Oh.
But that's really the only thing that it explains from what I'm aware of. And I guess also show off that one guy's Zanpakuto. It can it turns into like a little syringe knife, and then he can cut people with it and it heals their wounds. And then it also like fills up a gauge, and then when it heals enough wounds, it can shoot out an attack that basically puts all the wounds energies back into the bad person.
That's an extremely cool Zanpakuto for such a character.
Minor character that doesn't even show up.
He's not even in the video game. Is he playable in any of the games?
If I can remember his name. I know he's part of Squad 4.
The Loser Squad.
The Loser, SQUAD 4. Or the also, 4th Division, sorry, Bleach Wikia.
I'll say this, fan art recently has made me really, really like Captain Unohana. I like her quite a bit now. I think I was shitting on her last time.
No spoilers!
But this actually has nothing to do with... This is old fan art.
Oh, old fan art? That's crazy.
I know, huh?
His name is Hanataro Yamada.
Yeah.
His birthday is Yamada. April 1st. That's great.
Fitting.
Yeah. His Zanpakuto. When did this get shown off? I'm just running in the Bleach wiki right now. When did this get shown off? Oh my gosh, a Bleach official character book, Souls, page 119. Excuse me? It's Hisa Gomaru, is a katana with a blue handle, circular guard, blah blah blah. Is a katana with a blue handle and a circular guard with a brown spear or bag attached to it, along with the length of the blade is a gauge.
Oh, dude, I'm seeing a gif of him using his Zanpakuto.
I see that too.
This is filler. This is filler, right?
Yeah, maybe he used it in like a art book and then they decided to put it in a filler.
Well, I remember, and according to the Bleach wiki, and it has citations of like the art books and whatever stuff. Tine Kubo was apparently pretty involved in a lot of the like filler arcs in terms of like
I think he did
giving the material.
I think he did character arc. At least I know he at least did character designs for some of the later filler arcs.
Yeah,
the two that are good, which we will cover in this. Hi Tevin, did we skip?
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, I think this discussion technically covers a filler I don't think you watched, but you're not missing a lot of things. You remember did you watch the 3-episode like mini filler arc about the Forest of Menos?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Oh wait, actually, I'm trying to think. Does that take place with Holly Bell or no?
No, it's
okay.
Like when they.
I was thinking that didn't sound like filler.
When they first enter Waco Mundo, they like fall in a pit and then they meet a guy who's been there.
Wait, I did actually watch that, yeah, because I didn't know it was filler while watching it.
Well, I'll talk about it in a second. First of all, let's go in order.
Let's start with the peak.
I can't. Did we talk about Rukia's Shikai? Why do you have a skip button? Oh. Why did your word skip turn into an emote? What the fudge? Sorry, did we skip Rukia's Shikai during the last stream? I think we talked about it. I think it was a little underwhelming, but I do like it.
We also talked about it a little bit during the movie.
Oh yeah, it showed up during the movie before it showed up in the anime. It didn't do that on my side. That's weird. Maybe it's just a weird extension that I have. Anyway, Rukia's Shikai, it's a little underwhelming how it's shown off because she just like, here's my Shikai, and then she one-shots a random goon with it, and then nothing. She doesn't do anything with it for like a long time. Basically until her fight in the next batch of episodes we're talking about. Oh, frick. I need to stop hitting keys. How long have I been making a serious face? Anyway, yeah, I like Rukia's Shikai. I think it's It's interesting that, oh yeah, now Rukia has a Shikai. I don't know if her character was necessarily made with Shikai. I don't know how early on Shikai was a thing. But yeah, it is very satisfying to hear about Rukia's Shikai, you know, in episode 100 when she was like the literal first character to show up in the entire series.
And apparently one of the first characters the author made, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. It does pretty snow stuff. Although, the thing about ice in this series is it's very inconsistent. Because sometimes people get frozen and then they die. And then sometimes people get frozen and then they brush it off like it didn't even happen. It's a little arbitrary. It's just an element that people are affected by it whether they want to or not. Or like they get to choose if they get to be affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool. I like how she makes a little circle and it shoots up in the sky like a moon that shoots things. I don't know, man. It's a good Shikai. It's pretty.
It's all right. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I mean, it's nice just that Rukia has an ability to call her own, even if it like matches up with a few characters that can control ice.
Oh yeah, like that Tevin just said, Hitsugai also controls ice. But yeah, the ice colors are completely different. You're right, because Rukia is always like white snow ice, and Hitsugai is always like blue water ice. So that makes sense. Because there are some like overlapping elements. Like I think there's a couple of people that can shoot fire out of their Zanpakuto. Anyway, we're talking about this batch of filler episodes. Last time, Ichigo got his ass kicked in. No, last time we talked about... frick, I'm looking it up. This is why I keep all my notes.
Wasn't the last thing we were talking about Ichigo fighting Grimmjow? Was that not the last?
No, it was Ichigo fighting Hollow Ichigo. That was the last thing. So Ichigo fought his inner hollow self and he overcame it because, you know, battle of instinct. He gets to be the king. Haha, sucks to be you, buddy. We're going to change music because this is only appropriate later on. There we go. Get some chill lo-fi beats. Anyway, so Ichigo now has, is a official visored. And you know what? I do here. Well, I'll pull up a picture of Ichigo with his visored. What do you think of the power up in general? Because it's a very unique power up in terms of like, you know, Bleach power ups. It's not like it doesn't have anything to do with like a Zanpakuto or anything.
Yeah, in my opinion, I like this power up a lot because it's foreshadowed really early on in the Soul Society arc.
Oh yeah, like
when
even
he first starts training.
Yeah, no, like, as soon as he gets his Soul Reaper powers, remember, like, all the way back, like, in season, like, episodes, like, 16, when he first got his Soul Reaper powers back, he came out of the thing, like, with both a mask and a Soul Reaper thing. So, like, it was foreshadowed all the way back then, and then, of course, all throughout the Soul Society arc, they foreshadowed it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool, and, unlike some other things, I feel like it's a pretty warranted thing for Ichigo, and it like, unlike Bankai, because Bankai I'm like not super into all the time. I'm not a fan of like how they change how Zangetsu looks with Bankai. I like the big cloud buster sword looking.
Oh yeah, I mean you mean his Bankai form, not Bankai in general.
Yeah, his Bankai form specifically, like
Okay.
the sword design, and even like his robes. I like the regular design a bit more, but everything about Hollow, like the mask, I think it just looks really cool. I like the colors it changes with his like attacks, them being like black instead of blue.
I
guess in the manga yellow.
I think the black is just a thing that his Bankai does in general, but yeah. I think what you were saying, I think it Ichigo's Bankai form is a little like underwhelming. But I think the mask just adds a lot to it, you know, just like that very like simple like evil hollow mask, and then you got the Shinigami robes. It's like, oh, it's like the two factions coming together, you know. It's like what Aizen was talking about of combining Shinigami and hollow powers, like the Ironkar, and that's how you fight the Ironkar. I think it looks visually cool and it's thematically appropriate.
Yeah, I agree.
I also like how he like puts it on, like he like puts his hand over his face and he glows, and it's like, oh shoot, he's gonna do it.
It's iconic.
It is good. It is a unique thing that is like, it doesn't seem like It doesn't seem like you would be hyped by an anime character putting their hand on their face, but you know what? When it happens, and it's good. I also think it's a good power system in general, because like, blah, blah, yeah, it's a timed like super form, which is a good contrast with, yeah, it's Persona. It's a Persona.
Persona.
No, it's a good, because his Bankai, an issue with his Bankai is like, it's an infinite use Bankai. Like, there's no reason for him not to use Bankai in any given situation. Because like, there's there's a part like later on where like, he goes into Bankai, and he's in Bankai for like 300 episodes. He does not leave. Because there's no reason for him to, but with the mask, it's like a timed power-up, so he can use it, but only for a limited amount of time. So it's like an extra like boost that he gets on top of like his already like upgraded form. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, being time sensitive basically just translates to it goes away when it's most thematically appropriate too. Because even in like the very next fight, when he refights Grimjow after he had his arm torn off, Ichigo's like, I can only use it for 10 seconds, and then literally they fight for like half the episode.
Yeah.
And then when it's most relevant, it kind of breaks. Listen, as a fellow writer, I approve of shortcuts like that. Of like, yeah, you can dilate time like that. It's fine. Like, where I think that's a lot of people have issues with the JoJo's anime. The JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime does this a lot. Where like, especially during like the fight with like Dio, it's like, it looks like they're flying, but like if you look at the manga, it's like, no, it's just like they're jumping and talking at the same time, and the anime did not display that correctly.
Right.
Which is another weird question. Why can they fly? Because they're like in the air, but I don't know if they can actually fly, or if it's like a JoJo situation where they're just jumping. Like in the screenshot that I have here, like Ichigo's standing in midair putting on his hollow mask, but like later on they have issues about like getting up to places. So I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm glad, because you know what, we've talked about a few things in Bleach's techniques, like Flash Step and Keto and all these other things. But something I feel like I should have talked about, but I haven't brought it up yet until now. I don't know how the flying system in Bleach works. Sometimes they're like actually flying, like floating, like a Dragon Ball type flying. Sometimes they're like standing on air, like it's solid. It's like they can, and that's usually that's the default for Bleach usually. But I'm just not sure how flying really works, because sometimes they also just jump.
Yeah, because they made a big deal about like that like wing thing at the end of the Soul Society arc, about how that specifically gave Ichigo the ability to fly. So you think he wouldn't be able to fly, but like even before that in the first arc, like he broke his fall by like grabbing onto the air, and it is explained somewhere that they like compress reishi on like to stand on the air, but like I don't know, it's very inconsistent. Bleach has what I like to call a soft magic system. As in, it is a means for the end. The magic system is in Bleach is not a hard science. It just makes the thing work. I'm gonna put you down below me. Okay. You know what I mean? It's like with the thing I was talking about with the time limit, and by time limit it means whenever it's thematically appropriate, that's when the time limit ends, not like real life time. I think it's kind of like that, where like, yeah, you can use little shortcuts like that. You can use a vaguely defined magic system to just make whatever you need have happen to make the story work, and that's a fine plot convenience, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm sure there's some system that makes this work that they'll explain later. And in actuality, the artist is just making it up. The writer's just making it up as they go.
Yeah, and it works out really well. I like that a lot more than overly explained power systems, right? Like if they try to like tell us all the different forms of keto and all these things.
Yeah, because apparently there's
stick
like
them in a box.
There's 300 types of keto, because there's like 3 categories of keto, and they all go from like 1 to 99. So. And we do see a lot in the series. I think an official a fan count counts like 120 or something. But there's definitely like, oh, we have to just imagine like it's you only used thematically, you know, like in the Soul Society arc, you know, they were using like, oh, Hakudo 31, Hakudo 22, and then Aizen comes up and was like, oh, Hado 90, and then effing destroys, instant kills somebody. So it's again another a cheat plot convenience that I'm willing to allow because it makes the story work, and the story is more important. The story is more important than the magic system. How about that?
I agree. I think a lot of shonen fans don't really agree with that and see it, and I heavily disagree with those people.
Yeah. And then even when they do give it, people complain about the 5 pages of exposition in Hunter x Hunter. So like you can never win. You know what I mean, dog?
Mm-hmm. Hunter x Hunter, by the way.
At least I didn't pronounce it Hunter Cross Hunter. I heard somebody say that the other day, and I absolutely lost it.
That's awful.
Hado 33 Shokatsui. Okay, anyway. So anyway, we like the mask power. It's a good thing. And then we'll also see Ichigo kind of like be reluctant to use it later on, but that's more in the next arc. Here he's like, okay, this is the only way that I can beat Grimmjow, so let's put it on, and then it breaks. And then Grimmjow's like, well, I have no effing idea what you just did, but it's gone now, so GG's, buddy. Some Hunter x Hunter will just sometimes have whole ass pages of just words, hell yeah. This is what you this is the future that shonen babies want. But anyway, and then Shinji shows up. I don't know why this fight exists, but I like it a lot. Just because it has chill ass music. Because it has the saxophones like, and then it's got the violins. It's got saxophones, and then the second part of the fight has violins, and we actually get to see the Vizards do something, which is always good.
I love the Vizards as a faction. They're a very cool aspect.
Yeah, although slightly. No, we'll talk about it later. Because at the beginning of I found it funny at the beginning of the Ronkar arc, they described the Vizards as like, oh yes, they're a faction that diverted from the Soul Society and blah blah blah. They act like there's 100 Vizards when there's not 100. There's not 100. Spoilers. There's not 100 Vizards.
These guys are not the Quincy's.
But yeah, I like that where it's like it's like a saxophone while Shinji is fighting Grimmjow, and then he puts on the Vizard's mask and it turns on to like violins, like Spanish guitars, and it's hecka sick, dude.
Yeah, I love the OST for Bleach's, like, I don't want to call it a second half, but this whole aspect, I guess, this whole arc.
Yeah, Bleach in general has really great OST, which is we'll talk about the new anime when we talk about the new anime, but it has the Kingdom Hearts 3 itis where it has a lot of good music, but all the good music is just remix of the old music. So I'm like, it's good remixes, but you can't have original music. But the Vizards are cool. Again, they will become more interesting later on, but they're still cool for the moment, just as a mysterious, like, ooh, what's up with them? So, and now, guess what? We get to talk about the thing that we came to talk about. I need a different song. Okay, we came here to talk about Orihime, because Orihime's entire character arc is in this like scene. In this episode. Her entire character arc comes to a head here. Because like previously we were talking about how Orihime, is there anything you want to say about the Vizards and the Grimmjow fight?
No. Let's get going with the Orihime stuff.
There was also like Toshio fighting a random octopus guy in the background. Who cares about that? Anyway. We're gonna talk about Orihime's arc. So up until this point, like Orihime, you know, has tagged along. She's kind of been like a main character, but like she's not been useful. Like everyone's like, oh, you can't fight. You know, you don't have the fighting instinct, or you know, you're too nice of a person. You have to be a healer, you know. And she's talking about how frustrated she is. Like, oh man, I went to the Soul Society once, and I wasn't any helpful either time. Again, the filler didn't happen. Don't think about it.
Don't worry. Don't look at the animals. They won't show up again. The stuffed animals.
I was gonna say this is the last batch of episodes we ever see the animals ever again. But not important right now. We're talking about Orihime. So yeah, she's like, it's frustrated that she can't do anything in the Soul Society, and then the Arankars show up, and Chad gets his arm torn in half, and she can't do anything there, and Ichigo has to save her, and then Ichigo gets all depressed, and she can't even help Ichigo because he's all depressed, and then he doesn't, and then Rukia shows up, and she's able to get Ichigo out of his depression, and Orihime's like, wow, I'm useless, what am I even doing here? So like, she's, I don't know if it's like, is it a flaw if a character is intentionally useless as part of their character arc?
I think it's a really cool way of going about it, because I look at other shonen specifically where they handle like female characters, especially the ones that hang around the main character a lot, pretty poorly. And I think honestly, Orihime is really awesome because one, she's just cute with like Ichigo and all that stuff. It's always fun to watch. But the fact that they included the fact that, oh, all she's here is just kind of to heal.
Yeah. I mean, her healing
we're gonna
power,
make her like feel bad for that.
Her healing power is very good. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, I've never seen such a healing power like this. But, you know.
It pulls into the plot.
Cough, cough, Sakura. Yeah. From Naruto. I think Sakura did something at some point, right? Didn't she join like a faction in Shippuden?
She gets really strong physically in Shippuden and does have a big Sakuga moment, but that's kind of where her character peaks. It peaks for like 2 episodes of Sakuga, and then she's relegated to like, you know, healing.
But yeah, basically, yeah, or that's Orihime's entire character arc, is that she's been kind of useless, and she's, you know, had a lot of episodes about, you know, trying to do her best and doing what she can, and like, all that kind of comes to a head with the evil, manipulative Aizen, during that, like, Grimjaw fight and other fights where everybody's getting their ass kicked. How do you pronounce Ukiora? Ukiora is like, hey, Aizen says that if you join us, then we'll spare your friends' lives. So she's like, oh, I can be helpful, kind of, you know? Like, she was kind of pushed to this point where she was basically, it's not necessarily a kidnapping, but it's kind of a kidnapping. It's like, it is a kidnapping framed in the way that it's her decision, you know? It's Aizen manipulating her into kidnapping herself, I guess. Which is a high IQ move on Aizen, you know? That's another reason why I like Aizen as a villain, because he's very smart. Because again, it's like, oh, he fooled all of the Soul Society. Mm-hmm. But you actually get to see his smartness by, you know, basically convincing Orihime to kidnap herself.
Just come chill.
So Orihime's like, fine, I'll join you if you spare everybody's lives. And then they're like, cool. And then they're like, okay, you can say goodbye to one person, but they can't see you. So we're gonna put this band on you so nobody can detect your presence. And is a good episode. But by the way, that episode, like, in the anime, she had like an entire episode where she was going around, like, she was writing in her journal about how to take out the trash to the people who are staying in her house. I think it was like Toshiro and Rangiku.
Right.
But it was just one chapter it was just that one scene with her saying goodbye to Ichigo in the manga, but it was...
She has a bath scene with Rangiku.
That is a different episode.
Oh.
Also, it's not a bath scene. It's one of the moments where Rangiku's in the bath and Orihime's like outside and she's crying about how useless she is. And then Rangiku comes out of the bath buck naked to confront her.
Okay, I'm starting to remember this now.
But that's a different episode. That's unrelated. That's unrelated to what we're talking about right now. Doesn't she? But yeah, I appreciate that little scene got like a full episode in the anime. Actually, where I approve of anime filler content, because like in the manga it was just that scene where she said goodbye to Ichigo, and it's a great scene, but I feel like having an entire episode build up to that scene kind of helps makes it like more impactful. Yeah, she also bumps into somebody in the middle of town. Listen, I'm a sucker for goodbyes, and so having them expand that goodbye into an entire episode, I think, helps it helps the emotions of the last scene. Accentuate the emotions.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think before this episode, I really didn't care for Orihime besides the fact like, oh, she's like a cute design, and I'm a sucker for like the little romance between main characters and stuff like that. But this part, like, it added a lot more depth to her character,
Yeah, because
and
again, like,
yeah,
she's kind of going rogue, but she's doing it for a good cause, and she's also half getting kidnapped. There's a lot going on here. But yeah, this kind of sets up to I will address people's complaints about how people say this is just the Soul Society arc again, because Orihime goes missing, and then Ichigo and friends have to go rescue her. But like, just like how Rukia got kidnapped and Ichigo and friends have to go rescue her. But I do say yes, I do see the similarities. I do see like how they did kind of reuse that plot point, but they did change it a lot in a lot of key ways.
I feel like it's a pretty shallow level observation, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's like every single shonen is just like the main character wants to fight something and then they're not fight enough and then they get strong and then they, if you boil every single, there's like three, what did they say? Like there's 3 stories in everything and that's all it exists. You boil it down to just bare components. But they're a lot different, and B, it kind of diverges from the Soul, like it does feel a lot a bit of the Soul Society arc a little bit, but then it diverges greatly in the next couple batch of episodes. But a lot of the ways that they're different is Orihime's kidnapping is a lot more like tragic, like remember when Rukia got kidnapped, she's like, oh, this is, I've accepted this, she came to terms with it. And she's like, okay, I'm okay with this, don't come save me. Where Orihime's like bursting into tears, like, I wish I could be more useful, but this is all I could do, I don't want to leave you, Ichigo. Oh, it's so sad. Like when Rukia left, like it was like, oh man, I can't believe Rukia's gone. But like during this goodbye episode of Orihime, like I was like, why? It brought up a lot more emotions. So like Orihime's doing this for like her personal character growth, not just because like, oh, these are look, oh well, if it isn't the consequences of my actions. No, it's not that. She's trying to be helpful, and by doing this, and she does end up helping people, but it ends up she's like, oh, I'm glad I could help, but I wish things could be better. I wish we could be together. And they also foreshadowed in the opening. Yeah, you're right. Because like the last shot of the opening for these episodes is Orihime like walking into the desert. It's a good one. That's the opening that it begins with Cone singing, which is great.
Oh, I love that opening.
And also the lyrics are also about Orihime. Something about trying to find joy for yourself and not be worrying so much about trying to make others happy or something. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't necessarily have to do with Orihime specifically. But anyway, I do think a key difference between this is like Orihime's is going like half willingly, but she is. There's a lot of different circumstances behind Orihime being kidnapped. It's not like, oh, it's the law of the adult world taking her away. It's like, oh, this is a difficult decision that she has to make, and it's not really, is it the right one? Is it the wrong one? I don't know, but it's definitely not the ideal situation. There's also a lot of orange glowing lights in the opening. I thought it was mostly blue. Am I crazy? Am I colorblind? But yeah, I think you were saying earlier about how you like that Orihime actually has like an actual character arc.
Yeah, absolutely. Like again, it's nice to see that they took like a character flaw and didn't just like fix it, right? It's not like, okay, we're gonna make her strut, like we're gonna give Orihime a Bankai. Here you go. Here's a Bankai. It's like,
they do hint at that though. While Orihime's training with Rukia, Ukitake is like, oh, I wonder when she passes on, she could probably become a Soul Reaper in the afterlife. Sorry, I'm not meaning to just. But like,
interesting. I don't remember that, but yeah, it's cool that they took her flaw and kept it in her character, and honestly turned kind of a whole arc around it. Maybe like I would say 50% of the arc is like centered around that. There's
Yeah.
still a lot more with just Aizen in general and the Soul Society and everything else. But like at least
it's the main
Ichigo's
thing.
motivation.
Yeah, it's the main thing that kicks off this arc, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like what you said about like, yeah, they make her an interesting character without like homogenizing her. Like they make her relevant to the story without just making her the same as everybody else. Amy, Sonic. Sorry, what was that?
I'm nodding. I'm nodding.
I'm nodding. But that's why I hate like recent interpretations of Amy where Amy can spin dash and run real fast just like Sonic and she's player 4. Ha ha ha. Like, no, that's not what made Amy interesting. What made Amy interesting is that she was just a normal girl but she could do what she could in Sonic Adventure 1 and it was good. Anyway. So yes, I'm very glad that they could have very easily just have given Orihime some sort of power that let her fight and just be a regular character. And she could just be a background character like Chad. I forgot. Is it Tevin that really likes Chad? I'm sorry, Tevin. But Chad does get some cool scenes in the next arc, so you know what? We'll just wait, bide your time, buddy.
See ya in 100 episodes.
See you in 100 episodes. Watch the movie. Actually, I don't even think he does anything in the movies.
I don't think he does anything.
That was Biffy. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was like, as soon as I said, "Wait, it is you, Tevin, that likes Chad, right?" And I'm like, "Wait, I think that might have been Biffy." I'm sorry, Tevin. Tevin, what's your favorite Bleach character? Weird to think about. Most of friends are dead. Wait, what are we talking about? Most of
like the other Soul Reapers, which I don't know if I would call them friends. I don't know if Orihime is friends with anyone besides Rukia. I guess maybe
and
Naruto
Tatsuki
at this point.
and Tatsuki.
Well, Tatsuki's not dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess that's what you mean by most of her friends are dead. They're like Soul Reapers and whatnot. Don't think about that one too hard. When Ichigo dies as a human, is he gonna become is he just gonna be a Soul Reaper? Like, I don't know, man, because they talked earlier about how Soul Reapers can live for like thousands of years, but like but clearly they age somewhat because Yamamoto is like an old guy.
Well, Hitsugaya is like a small guy.
Yeah, so clearly age does exist. They allow whatever. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. I'm gonna need to make another apology video for Tevin and Biffy for confusing them constantly, but something else I wanted to say is the goodbye confession scene is sick. I told you that they made that entire episode. They turned that one chapter into an entire episode just so they could really have the emotions of this goodbye scene a lot, and it's really good because Ukiura said that like, oh, you can say goodbye to one person. And she's like, oh, I could say goodbye to my best friend Tatsuki, but I want to say goodbye to you, Ichigo. People think that they don't have any romance and they don't have any chemistry, because a lot of people like to ship Ichigo with Rukia, but like, I don't really see that. Like, people ship Ichigo with Rukia, but like, especially after the rewatch, I kind of interpret Rukia and Ichigo's relationship as being more of like really good friends. Like, they're close friends,
Platonic.
Yeah, more like platonic. Like, Rukia like respects and appreciates Ichigo, but she doesn't like necessarily like care for him on the same level that like Orihime does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because that's what it is as you watch the show, but as someone who wasn't watching the show beforehand, I always did think that it was supposed to be an Ichigo Rukia kind of like thing going on.
Yeah, they are kind of like the main two characters of Bleach. That like they are the two main characters at the start of the series. But like, yeah, they are. I think their relationship, even from the beginning, was just supposed to be like, you know, friends. Like they warmed up to each other. They hated each other at first, and they definitely warmed up to each other. But like, yeah, I don't really think there's no scenes like this. There's no scenes where Rukia is crying over a sleeping Ichigo, talking about like, oh, you know, Orihime's literally was like, oh, there's so many things I wanted to do in my life. You know, I wanted to be a baker. I wanted to be a teacher. You know, and I wish I could have 5 different lives. And she's like, you know, even if I did have 5 different lives, I'd still fall in love with the same person, and it drives me How would you not? How? Listen, listen. I don't necessarily hate Ichigo Rukia shippers, okay? But
I haven't watched it, but isn't there a movie that's supposed to be like a big Ichigo Rukia ship?
we'll get to that. Okay, listen, that's another issue that I think a lot of the reason that people ship Ichigo and Rukia is because I think the anime more than anything pushed it. Because, like, there's a lot of, like, anime original, like, filler episodes where, like, Ichigo and Rukia are, like, romantic that we might talk about later on. Like, they have a similar tearful goodbye, but that it wasn't in the manga. And there's also a lot of ending songs that ship Ichigo and Rukia, but that is in the anime. It's not in the manga. If you look at just manga content, Rukia was never more than just a friend, a really good friend. But yeah, and yeah, the movie is one of them. But again, movie, not anime, and not manga, not canon. I don't know.
It's not Tide Kubo's vision.
It was probably just like one dude on the animation team that was like, no, we gotta push this ship. It's definitely gonna happen. I just got off the phone with Tide Kubo. He says the ship is canon, so definitely push it as much as you can. Who directed this anime? I forget his name. Find you.
He didn't come back, I'll tell you that.
Tide Kubo found out what he was doing and got him. Noriyuki Abe. Noriyuki Abe is the Rukia Ichigo shipper, not Kubo. Nobody knows who I... Yeah, even the literal first ending song of the entire series is literally like Orihime or Rukia singing a love song about Ichigo. But that's in the anime. It's not canon. You can't stop me. It has to be an anime-only thing because it also, that weird ship dynamic also never appears in any of, like, the video games or that. I don't know, man. I lost track of what we were talking about.
We're just sad about Orihime leaving Ichigo.
Yeah, it's a lot more tragic. Like, Orihime's, like, basically off to, like, she assumes that she's not gonna come back. Like, she writes, like, a goodbye letter, like, she talks about, like, oh, I wish I had all these different kinds of lives. Like, she assumes that she's not coming back. Like, I don't know if she thinks that she's gonna die, but she definitely doesn't think she's coming back. And the later episodes kind of just reinforce this. It also makes me really mad at Aizen. In addition to this scene being sad and helping Ichigo or Orihime's character arc and her development with Ichigo, it also makes me really mad at Aizen because Aizen's the one who manipulated her to feel this way in the first place. Remember?
Yeah.
Because it was Aizen's big plan that he wanted Orihime's powers, so he had this fight against with Grimmjow and Ichigo to specifically get her to like give up and join him. So like yeah, it's just the scene. It's as any great scene of any story, it does a lot of things at the same time. That's what I've learned more of, like actually like looking into like what makes good writing. A lot of people say that like if your scene can do more than one thing at a time, then it's a good scene. And like yeah, this scene does a lot. It like culminates Orihime's character arc. It like helps further Ichigo's like motivation and character arc, because Ichigo like wakes up the next day and hears that Orihime is missing, and Ichigo's like, but wait, she healed my wound before she left, so she can't be that bad, you know. And even though at this point everyone's telling Ichigo that Orihime is a traitor and left on her own will, Ichigo still believes that she's a good girl.
Oh.
So like I don't know, it's good. Again, they don't get a whole lot of scenes out. Listen, something I will give the Rukia shippers is that Ichigo and Orihime don't get a lot of scenes outside of this. They have like a couple of scenes later on, and they probably have more scenes in the last arc. But like, yes, Orihime or Rukia does have a lot more scenes with Ichigo compared to Orihime. But like, the scenes that Orihime have just hit different for real.
Facts.
But yeah, it's like, it's a great scene. It has a lot of payoff for like basically her entire character arc, like just culminates in this, like, oh, I'm useless and I want to help people, and this is the only way that I can think of doing this is to make this sacrifice. So it has a lot of big payoff for a lot of episodes. It's a great scene. It's great.
Yeah, I fully agree. I also just want to add to that is just that Bleach isn't like a romance anime, right? It's not a
Yeah, that's what I thought. I agree.
Romance drama.
Like, this is not even a romance anime, and it's like, we have emotions this strong that a lot of dedicated romance anime would love to have.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say? Is that what you were gonna say? Sorry, I interrupted you.
What? Yeah, no, it was basically just that, and just saying like, with Rukia and Ichigo, there's nothing that comes close to that level, and Orihime is like the closest. Anything that involves Orihime and Ichigo is the closest you can get to romance in Bleach. So therefore, like, just makes more sense, you know? Just makes more sense.
Yeah. I think there might be, I don't know. Again, there might be. Yeah, no. There romance. Their love has been a theme in the past, like Byakuya losing his wife. Think it's implied that Renji had a thing for Rukia at some point because that's why he wanted to be as strong as Byakuya. I don't know. That might just be a childhood friend thing. But still, in one way or another, like, this is as much romance as the series gets, and as a shonen, like, that's more than it needs, you know? It's good. We're good. So, like, even though Orihime and Ichigo's relationship doesn't get that much more developed past this scene, like, this scene is all it needed, you know? That's another reason why this scene is great, is because it's short and effective. It's like, it gives the main character motivation to go on their journey. It gives a good relationship. It like solidifies this romance, and then we can get back to going to fighting with swords.
Yeah.
At least it's better than some other anime. Cough cough. Naruto again? I have no idea about any of the romance in Naruto. Sword Art Online? Question mark? You could be talking about literally any other anime, Tevin. I have no idea what you're talking about. Also, this is just a side nitpick, but also, another evidence of why Rukia and Ichigo I don't think were ever meant to be a thing where... I'll save it for the Naruto stream. There may or may not be a Naruto stream. Naruto is really long. But, oh yeah, like in the first episode, or Rukia talks about how she's like 2,000 years old. So like, I don't know. They seem like... I mean... that Ichigo's 15, that's a little, if you ship them, if they were to get together, wouldn't this be a little weird?
Yeah, I remember actually the voice actor saying that a few times. I forget Rukia's voice actress.
Michelle Gruff in English,
Yeah.
at least.
She said it a few times on podcasts and stuff that she doesn't like care for the Ichigo and Rukia ship. And even Johnny Young Botch, like he's been asked a million times, like, oh, who do you ship Ichigo with? He's like, oddly enough, only said Orihime. So that's the voice actor's interpretation, at least.
And I also know that the I think this is in relation to a later fight, but the Japanese voice actor for Ichigo for Bleach,
the whole Bleach.
The Japanese voice actor for Ichigo has also said that when he's doing like the big screaming fight, that he thinks of Ichigo and Orihime's relationship. So even the Japanese voice actors also supports this ship. It's just the anime that pushes the ship, and I don't know why. I told you, it has to be like one guy.
A big Rukia fan.
It has to be just one guy. There's no way like an entire team in Taidakubo signed off on this. And you notice that in the new anime, the anime that specifically has Taidakubo listed as a like production assistant, unlike the original anime. New anime doesn't have, you know, just reinforces all of this.
The new anime would make you think Rukia was not like a major character in Bleach at all. Funnily enough.
Yeah, Rukia isn't really a major character like past the first couple arcs. Maybe Taidakubo saw what the anime people were doing and decided to put a stop to that and killed off Rukia. I make the same mistake when calling Ichigo Bleach. I do the same thing, but with Berserk. I call the main character of Berserk Mr. Berserk. Like, oh yes, the best romance of all time, Berserk and Guts. Wait, I mean Berserk and Griffith. Also, other thing, would that be an interspecies relationship? Because Rukia is a Soul Reaper and Ichigo is not technically a Soul Reaper. He's more of a human, but he also has a Soul Reaper. Don't think about it. I mean, it could, I mean, my head hurts. Okay, question, do people even make babies in the Soul Society? Or are all the...
I don't know how that works. It's very, like, can two dead people have a child over there? I don't know.
Because, like, even though, like, Byakuya adopted Rukia, and that's why they're, like, brother, but, like, they didn't... And sister, I don't... My head hurts. Like, they could probably, like, even if their spirit forms couldn't make a baby, they could still... Could their Gigai form make a baby? We get some ghost babies. Listen, I'm gonna write to Tadakubo. Dear Tadakubo, can ghost babies? Love, dedicated Bleach nerd, Enyo Solaris. How's that sound?
I'm sure he'll get back to you.
Sure, he'll get back to you right away. Can ghost baby? No, I gotta translate it to Japanese. Yurei wa, akachan tsukureru? Tsukureru? Dekiru? Dekinai? Dochira? Anyway, I'm almost done talking about Orihime. It's been like 30 minutes. I was just gonna say another difference between, Ichigo rescuing Rukia and Ichigo rescuing Orihime is that when he was rescuing Rukia, it was more like him repaying a favor. Like, everyone's like, hey, you know, you just met this girl, like, a month ago. Like, why do you care about saving her life? And Ichigo's like, oh, yeah, I'm repaying a favor, you know? I don't want to be the kind of person to not, you know, to not, just repay a favor like that, because Rukia saved his life. Right? So, during the saving Rukia was more just like, it was more like a repaying a favor. But with Orihime, like, he doesn't really owe anything to Orihime. He just, you know, he just likes Orihime. He wants to get her back because Orihime is his friend, you know?
Yeah, funnily enough, I think at this point in the series, I'm not sure if Orihime ever, like, healed Ichigo. I'm not sure if that's happened. Has that happened?
Outside of the healing his hand when she was saying goodbye.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, like, obviously from when she, like, first got her powers in Soul Society. I don't think she healed him at all in Soul Society.
I want to say after the Byakuya fight, she might have.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Because she definitely, like, came up to Ichigo and talked to him after the Byakuya fight, and Ichigo was able to, you know, do one attack against Aizen. So, during the scene where Aizen cut off his theme song. By the way, looking back, I'm not sure, rewatching the series, I'm not sure if number 1 is specifically an Ichigo's theme song, because it just seems to play during, like, any triumphant moment, because I think it played, like, once during a Chad scene, too.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's supposed to be just his theme song. It's just a general Bleach, like,
yeah,
shit's going down.
And even when it came back in Thousand Year Blood War, when it came back, it was not just Ichigo, it was, like, everybody. It was, like, Ichigo, Uryu, Chad, Orihime. So, yeah, but most people just associate it as Ichigo's theme, because he's the main character, so most of the time when triumphant stuff happens, he's the one doing it.
They're not going to be playing, like, number 1 when Aizen's beating up everyone.
I feel like you can do with your music. What? You want to translate? You want to translate? Okay, I think we're finally done talking about Orihime. But yeah, again, people say, like, oh, this is too similar to, you know, Ichigo going to save a friend is too similar to Soul Society. But again, the emotions behind it are very different, and also it diverges very quickly. Like, it's only pretty much like that for like the next batch of episodes, and then like things change drastically. Oh, bringing up Naruto. I'm gonna say, does Naruto have a pop song that he fights to? I don't remember.
I wish.
Changing music. Anyway, so yeah, then they go. It was apparently this was also They did have a Naruto and Sasuke near the end of the series using the theme was made for other characters. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know. But definitely at the beginning of even like the first 20 episodes, like it was mostly just it was not a Ichigo exclusive theme. But it works anyway. Anyway, so Aizen kidnaps Orihime, or forces Orihime to kidnap herself. And then the Soul Society decides not to help because they think they know that Orihime left willingly, and that was Aizen's evil plot. So they're like, yeah, Orihime is a traitor, we're not helping you. So Ichigo's got to go off on his own. And so you got to go back to Urahara again, and then you got, you know what? Listen, it's not exactly the same, but I do like, I'm a fan of callbacks, you know. I'm a fan of, you know, the classic squad minus Orihime in Urahara's shop again, going through the door. It's I like callbacks, okay? I am the part of the problem. I am why there's so many remakes happening. I am why nobody has an original thought. I'm sorry. I like Pikmin 4. I like the return of Bleach. I'm sorry. Old good, new bad. My fault. No, I'm the reason why we can't have anything original. Joking, obviously. I enjoy lots of new things. I enjoyed a new thing like Kid Icarus Uprising. Actually, that wasn't necessarily even a new thing even when it came out, and now it's 11 years old. Anyway. Also, during that scene where they go inside of the Gargantua, I forget exactly what it's called. The door that goes into the Waco Mundo. Do you remember what it's called?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, dude, I have no effing idea.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Asking the wrong dude. But yeah, after they go for the portal, the nether portal. Yes, thank you, Tevin. It's called the nether portal. After they go for the nether portal and get to the nether, that's the last scene that those filler characters are in ever again. Like, you never have to see them ever again. The only time that they ever show up is, like, also in filler episodes. So we might, in this rewatch, we might cover episodes where they're in there, but they never intrude on canon episodes anymore. Which is good, because I think we complained enough last time about how, like, why would you put filler characters in canon episodes other than just to pad out the canon episodes? And it dumb is bad. I hate it. And that's it. That's it.
Yeah, it's great that they got rid of them because, again, if you skip the filler, it doesn't work for anyone who's watching Bleach, like, now.
Yeah, like, the best way...
It times the show, right?
Yeah, the best way to watch Bleach is definitely 100% skip the Bount filler arc. Skip most of the arcs, except for the 2 that I tell you to watch. But, like, yeah, even if you do that, like, it's still... It's a little rough, but, like, it's very nice that it didn't last for very long. It was just basically, like, episode 110 to, like, 140... Hold on. I'm finding the episode that they actually left. Da, 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 da. Was it this? Yeah, no, it was this episode. It was episode 143. So it was basically just 110 to 143. Also, you can skip a couple other fillers. So it's like 20 episodes. So not that bad. Also, Tatsuki tries to be relevant real fast. I wish Tatsuki was relevant. I like Tatsuki.
Yeah, me too.
And she kind of has somewhat development where she's like, oh, why stop keeping things from me, Ichigo. I know you have those black clothes and you fight with sword. You can't keep me out. And Ichigo's like, hey, I'm moody. I'm gonna go rescue Orihime. So I don't know. Tatsuki's a little bit relevant, but I don't know. Can't catch a break. I don't know, man. she's She's does not have superpowers, so she doesn't get to be part of the show. Them's the breaks, kid.
Yeah, that's how it works. Her and Ichigo's two friends.
Ichigo's two friends are just annoying, so I'm okay that they never show up again.
Oh.
Like, Tatsuki was also somewhat relevant to, like, Ichigo's story, because Ichigo and Tatsuki were, like, friends, like, before his mom died. And Tatsuki was talking about how much Ichigo changed before and after his mom died. So, like, she used to be relevant, but she's not that relevant. Anyway, also, when Orihime gets... So, moving on, when Orihime gets to, Wako Mundo, she has, like, this, She has, like, this time where, like, she's thinking, like, oh, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing by coming here, or did I only make things worse? And then, like, 20 seconds ago, is Grimjaw like, ha ha ha, I'm back! The sixth Espada is Grimjaw again! It's like, I don't know about that. You definitely didn't make things too much worse, Orihime. Because I don't know if we talked too much about that, but yeah, Grimjaw, like, lost his arm and also lost his rank, and then Orihime was able to heal his arm and then killed the person who replaced him.
Yeah, very fast.
Yeah, it was very fast, but basically, I just think it was really funny how Orihime healed Grimjaw, and then Grimjaw was like, haha, I'm back, my power is back! And then, like, 2 seconds later, Orihime's like, did I do that? Did I fuck up? Did I just fuck up? Was that a bad idea, healing that guy? Like, nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
It'll work out.
It'll work out. Although, in that scene, Aizen does say something interesting about, Orihime's powers, because I think Tevin might have said this earlier, and that's how I remembered it, too, that Orihime, as, like, her powers, we thought her powers worked like time travel, where, like, it rewinds the object, and that's why you're able to, like, have an entire arm even though it was, like, evaporated. But it's not quite that way. Aizen explains that Orihime's power is the power to reject events, I think is how he worded it. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
But basically, it's the idea that, like, it can reject... Her power can reject the entirety of, like, events.
That's why she says, I reject.
Yeah, that's why she says, I reject. If it reject negative phenomenon. Yeah, so it's not quite time travel, but it can basically reject an event. Like, it can say, like, oh, no. It can just say... It can just look at an event and be like, no, not today, buddy. And so that's why, like, it rejected the event of Grimjaw's arm being disintegrated. And that's why he was able to get his arm back. So that makes sense. And that's why Aizen wants to use it for the, Hogyoku. Because the Hogyoku was, like, sealed or whatever. And I think that's why Aizen wanted Orihime to use it. I don't know. It might have just been a big plan to bait Ichigo into Wako Mundo. I have no idea. We might find out later on. I might be reminded later on, but yeah, Orihime's plan is basically, I think this might be in the next. I watched like 3 episodes past this. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that is in the next one. Orihime's plan is basically just to reject the fact that the Hogyoku exists and disintegrate it out of existence.
I don't even remember her really saying that.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, her power is very interesting. Because, why that...
I sure hope, wink wink, that they eventually explain more of her power in a light novel, wink wink.
Anyway. Don't worry about it. Shut up, don't think about it.
Wink.
Shut up, don't think about it. We just got rid of Cone and all the other dumb comic relief characters, and we upgraded them to better comic relief characters. Because when they get to Wako Mundo, they'll immediately find Nell and her 2 adopted brothers and her giant pet snake.
We love these guys. I love these guys.
Yeah.
I feel like I shouldn't, but I love them.
Again, it's like the Vizards where, like, they get more interesting later. Nell 2, I think is what they call her, Nell 2 at this point. But yeah, it's kind of a situation with the Vizards where like they become interesting characters later, and I like them just because it's a rewatch. But at the current moment, like they've not done anything. They're just comic relief characters. But they are better comic relief characters than Cone. So you know what? That's not a high bar, but you know what? We'll take it.
I think what's cool about it, specifically to me at least, with Nell, is so Cone is a little dude and like he's a mod soul, and that's like interesting little world building for like an episode, and that's it.
Yeah, and then he sticks around, and then they don't ever do anything with mod souls outside of the one cool filler arc that we'll watch, but that's not until way later.
Right, but Nell has so much more going on for her, and it's why, like, me personally, I was always interested. And also, mind you, I knew a little bit about, I didn't know much about her, but I've seen, like, you know, spoiler-ish pictures ahead of time.
You knew that she wasn't entirely useless like Cone.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, I already had that, but even if I didn't, just the fact that, you know, why is there a kid with a hollow mask around? Like, what's going on? Is she a Vizard? Is she a Car? What's going on? So, to me, it was always interesting what her deal was. So, even though she is, like, kind of, like, you know, a little bit of an annoying little kid. First of all, she's cute.
Yeah, she is cute.
Also, again, there's an intrigue to that because you're like, man, what is her deal? Who is she? Who is this sassy little child?
What is this? What is with this sassy lost child? Yeah, I forgot about that. Like, even at this point in time, you're like, wait, what the fudge? Because at this point in time, you know that every single Arrancar that got made was made by Aizen, and all the Arrancars, like, serve Aizen. And, like, Nell even refers to Aizen as Lord Aizen or Aizen-sama. So, like, but, like, she's not in Wako Mundo. She doesn't have a Zanpakuto. Like, she's just a little baby. So, like, I don't know. It's what happened with her. As she also has a scar on her head face. So, like, clearly there's more going on with her than just a comic relief character. And just by extension of that, she's more interesting than Cone. Because Cone is cool for an episode. Again, what you said, cool for an episode, but like he has no reason to stick around a lot of the time.
Yep.
That was voiced by Susie from Zatch Bell, you're right. Shoutouts to
Gash Bell.
Shoutouts to the dub of Zatch Bell. Had one of the better dubs, I think. IMHO.
They got Jimmy Neutron for that.
They did?
That's Zatch.
Oh. Really? Oh, I think you're right.
I know I'm right.
I should watch the Japanese version of Gash Bell, though, because Zatch is voiced by Pikachu, and Kyo is voiced by Cloud.
What an interesting mix.
Cloud and Pikachu. That's what Smash Brothers is referencing. Smash Brothers is just the Zatch Bell fighting game. Think about it. Azerad beat me to it, I was gonna say that. But yeah, then another difference. Anyway, back to talking about the show. Another difference is that Rukia and Renji eventually show up. I don't know why they were late. I guess they wanted the classic, and then they're like, nah, let's throw in. Well, is it a retcon or was it always planned? Whatever. I like having.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it because like the rest of the captains weren't, or like the people from the Soul Society weren't supposed to go, but Rukia and Renji are like, well, I guess we'll go. Like, just don't tell anyone, right? Like, aren't they kind of going, like, against orders? Or am I wrong? Am I crazy?
No, you're right, because, previously, they're like, the Soul Society's like, oh, Ichigo's like, hey, we gotta go save Orihime, show me how to get to this, Wako Mundo, and Yamamoto's like, no, Orihime is a traitor, she went willingly, and the Soul Society can't help. And that's why Ichigo had to go alone. But then, Rukia and Renji, who are friends with Orihime, or at least they are buddies with Ichigo. They decided to brogue off and go, and Byakuya somewhat helped. He was able to look the other way. He was like, oh, you know, I was just told to bring you here. I wasn't told to keep you here, so you can go do whatever you want. Wink, wink. He did something like that. But yeah, I think it's cool because again, Rukia is obviously, you know, is friends with Ichigo and respects him, and you know, I think also, you know, she also had scenes with Orihime, so they're friends, and Renji's kind of friends. Because at this point, the only thing that Ichigo and Renji have done is they became friends during like Bankai training. Like after their fight, Renji's like, "Please help me save Rukia," and Ichigo's like, "No problem." And then they palled around during Bankai training, and then they had like 1 or 2 scenes in the world of the living while he was there, outside of filler
Showed up
arcs.
to his school.
I think that was a filler. No, wait, no. That was also in canon. Never mind.
Yeah, that was it was a very confusing piece of canon, I believe, because I think Renji, Hitsugaya, and Rangiku pretend that like they act like they've never been there before, but in the Bount arc, they've all been there before.
I
So
think
it's,
it
like,
was just
weird.
Renji in the Bount arc.
It might have been just Renji. You might be right, actually.
Because I think Renji's saying like, "Oh, I've been here once before," but nobody else said that. Anyway,
I don't know if he said that, but I don't know.
Again.
Confusing.
it's bad, it's confusing, and again, after this episode, never brought up ever again. Like even later when they do try to incorporate the filler episodes into the canon lore, they never infringe onto the like canon onto the canon episodes. Like the canon episodes stay fully canon.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think Renji ever talked to Orihime. Yeah, I think Renji's just there because he is friends with Ichigo, and also Rukia was going, and he likes Rukia, I guess. So, also, another interesting thing about this point in the series is this is around the time when I jumped in, when I first started watching the series. I don't think I was watching it week by week yet. I think that was, like, later. Because, like, we were talking about this before stream, but basically, like, after, like, episode 167, the dub basically, like, went on, like, a almost year-long hiatus. And that's when I caught up, and so I think I was like watching week by week up until that point for a little bit, and then the dub went on hiatus, so I eventually just went to sub, and then there was a time where I was watching the sub and the dub week by week. But like, yeah, when is this? Yeah, this came out around 2009, so yeah, that's around the time I suppose I got into Bleach. So this is when I was like into this is when I like got super into Bleach, when I basically binged like these first 140 episodes. And the reason I bring this up is just so you have certain context. I have a lot of history with this series, and Azerad just recently watched it like last year, right?
Yep.
Mind
you, I was aware of Bleach because like how can you be an anime fan and not? Right?
I think I was pestering you to watch Bleach for like 10 years.
Yeah, it was a long time.
I think it also took around that a long time for you to finally watch Index too.
And I'm not to get too sidetracked, but I have actually been watching a little bit of Index because I only watched the first season way back. I did not catch up ever.
Oh, okay.
So, but I have been very interested and intrigued by Index a little bit.
Index is one of my favorite series. It's great. The more spin-offs that I read of Index, the more like light novels I read, the more I like Index. Even though 80% of the anime is good.
I was gonna say I'm not looking forward to the I'm not gonna get sidetracked too much.
Index season 1 and 2 is great, and then Railgun season half of season 1 and half of season 2 and all of season 3 is great. So you got like a total of like 4 seasons. You have like at least like 50 episodes worth of, or like 100 episodes worth of good Index content for if you're an anime only.
Yeah, it's a long running series. 26 episodes per season and 3 different seasons of just the main series, and then you have
there's a movie and then there's an Accelerator 12 episode anime.
Was Accelerator only 12 episodes, not 20?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Because I don't know if it was always meant to be 12 episodes, but it, like halfway through production of the Accelerator anime, like the director had to go to the hospital for like a brain tumor or something.
Oh,
like,
jeez.
it's really bad. I think he's fine now, but like, yeah, it was kind of not something you want to have happen in the middle of directing an anime.
One last thing I'll say about Index before we move on. Really cool that show is a full adaptation of the whole light novel. Like, even though apparently season 3 is really bad, they adapted all the light novels, so it is, from what I understand, a complete story.
Yeah.
It's finished.
Again, complete story with season 3 as an asterisk, but like, yeah, they did do all the original Testament of Index. Of course, there's also New Testament of Index and Genesis Testament, which is current ongoing, but still, as far as original Testament of Index goes, it is a complete adaptation. The only other light novel I can think got a complete adaptation was, oh god, what was that show? The girl...
Zero no Skyma?
No, that did not get a complete adaptation. I was gonna
say, because even that's not finished, because, you know, the authors... Durarara has a complete adaptation.
That's not... Wait, what did you just say?
Durarara.
Oh, Durarara. Is Durarara finished? I thought Durarara was still getting another season. Okay.
No, it's completely finished. There is like a sequel series, but...
What is that called? It's like a girl with a spear and like a guy who has a dragon.
Strike the Blood.
Strike the Blood!
I don't know if I should call that an Index ripoff, but it sure feels like it.
Listen, as a fan, I watched the first season back when it was new, and I did like it, but yes, it is an Index ripoff. But it has a season 1, it has, hold on. So it has a season 1 with 24 episodes, then it has a season 2 with 8 episodes, and then a season 3 with 10 episodes, and then a season 4 with 12 episodes, and a final season with 4 episodes. So it was very unconventional, but yes, Strike the Blood is a complete adaptation. Anyway, way off topic. The reason I
love Bleach.
We like anime swords. Reason I bring it up is because you know, when Rukia and Renji, the reason I bring up the fact that I was like into the Bleach fandom at this time was to bring up a story. Do you know when Rukia and Renji like first show up and they have like these like capes that they're wearing?
Right.
I think I might have a screenshot of it. Yeah, you can see it a little bit in the screenshot. They have a cape to protect that Byakuya gave them, I guess, to protect against the sands of Wako Mundo. I just remember there was like an argument, I think in a forum or something, of like what those things were called. Because people are like, they're capes. Like, no, they're cloaks. No, they're capes. They're cloaks. Like, A, does it matter? And B, you have an official translation. Because the dub calls them, a cloak, I believe. And the Japanese version calls them manto, which is like mantle or cloak. So it's a cloak. It's a cloak, not a cape, if we want to be super pedantic about it. But I don't know, every time I see them wearing those capes, I just remember that one argument I saw. Typical anime fan behavior, arguing about something that is already solved if you just watch the effing show. But like, I don't know why I remember that. I just remember every time I see that, I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that dumb argument. Those like, I think it was just like 3 people in like the Bleach forums. Remember when forums were a thing?
Yeah, back when you didn't have to reply to someone right away.
Back before Discord and the Discord.
The Discord discourse.
The Discord discourse. And Twitter. But yeah, anyway, last thing we want to talk about is, did you watch the Forest of Menos? Like 3-episode mini arc?
All I remember is them falling into a hole and fighting some useless hollows. And I watched it in quotations in that I skimmed it.
You watched it as in like I was brain dead, but I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it as in I went
It's actually funny because I looked through it, right? I was watching, I'm like, this feels weird. This doesn't feel like Bleach. Like something seems off.
They fell into a hole, screwed around for 3 episodes, and went about their business. That seems like sus filler attitude.
It's the first time I've ever been able to usually like call out like, wait a minute, this is filler.
But yes,
because I knew the Bount arc was filler beforehand. I'm not sure if I would have known if someone didn't tell me. I probably would, maybe, I don't know. But this was the first time I watched the anime, and I'm like, this seems off. And I actually had to look up like, is this like, what's the manga version of this?
But yes, technically this 3-episode Forest of Menos is technically filler. but I included it because according to Kubo, it was meant to be in the manga. Like the Ashido, and the character and all the plot line was supposed to be in the manga, but was cut due to, quote, time issues or something. So it's like soft canon, which is why I included it. You could skip it. Nothing. It's not that great, and it is, again, they fall in a hole, they get out of the hole. End of story.
If I didn't respect him, I'd call him a liar.
Yeah, I can see why. Listen, I can see why it was cut, and we did nothing of value was lost when it was cut from the manga. But I will say, I do like. Listen. The one good thing that it does is I think Ashido is a cool character, because like you know, Ashido's whole thing was like, oh, he was part of the Soul Society, and like hundreds of years he got trapped in Wako Mundo because he was like chasing hollows who were running away to Wako Mundo, and then he got to Wako Mundo and all of his friends died, so he vowed to stay there and fight hollows forever, and he's been there for like 100 years. And I think that's cool. Again, very filler, but like, because it doesn't impact the story at all. Like, he stays in that forest and they never see him ever again. But I think it's a cool lore to the Soul Society. I think it's like cool that like, oh yeah, they just lost this squadron and they thought I guess the Soul Society just assumed they died, but no, there's still one that's living and kicking around. It's just cool. It's just
chilling.
It's a cool idea. And that's why it's a cool thing that just adds a bit to the lore of Bleach. That like, yeah, there is a Soul Reaper hanging around in Wako Mundo, you know, fighting hollows. You know, it's just an interesting bit of the lore, and that's why we're also going to be covering like 2 filler arcs. I think do similar things very well. That like, yes, while obviously filler, they add interesting things to the lore and are good in their own right. You know what I mean, dog?
Yeah.
But this filler arc in particular, outside of Ashido, like, it's them just running around in circles. Like, Nell gets kidnapped, they rescue Nell, Nell gets kidnapped again, they gotta go find Nell, they split up, they get back together. Like, it reminds me of like watching Inuyasha. It's like, it's how that felt. Because Inuyasha does that all the time, where like characters just run around in circles, wasting so much goddamn time. Listen, I know Tevin's a fan of Inuyasha, don't be mad. I like Inuyasha. You have to admit that Inuyasha's wastes a lot of time. Have you ever seen Inuyasha?
Not fully and not in years.
Same, but I do definitely clearly remember there being a lot of episodes. I think around the time that I marathon Bleach, I also wanted to be like, I remember watching Inuyasha on Adult Swim like a couple years ago. I should see if I can binge that, and I tried, and I think I got to like episode 60, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Nothing has happened in the last 40 episodes. But
yeah.
What's up?
I was just gonna say that this whole little plot line here was very like weirdly episodic for like a very emotional and kind of important like journey for Ichigo right now, so it's kind of
it's kind of a pace breaker. It's very understandable why it was cut in the manga. Like, it pace breaks a lot because like everybody's like, we gotta go rescue Orihime, but first we gotta screw around in this forest for 3 episodes. Also, it sucks that we don't see Ashido's Zanpakuto, because I feel like a lot of the filler characters have some of my favorite Zanpakuto. Like, okay, maybe not some of my favorite Zanpakuto, but filler characters always have really cool Zanpakuto. Not to spoil future filler stuff for you, but like, even in the movie that we saw, like, Senna's Zanpakuto is kind of sick. It's like a Buddhist stick that summons tornadoes. Right?
Yeah.
So like, and a lot of other like different filler characters later on have cool Zanpakutos. So like, it's upsetting that we did not see Ashido's Zanpakuto. You know what's also really funny is like directly after, like, okay, so they get out of the hole and Ashido stays by to like buy them time so they can get out of the hole, and then the hole seals up, and Ichigo's like, oh well, sucks to be Ashido, but we gotta go rescue Orihime. And Rukia's like, okay, we'll go rescue Orihime, but after that we're gonna go get Ashido back. Well, and Rukia's like, we'll definitely come back for you, Ashido. They never come back for Ashido. Then Ashido's never seen again.
Oh,
I'm sorry to tell you. He is in one of the video games, if that makes you feel better.
well, listen, the new anime is airing and we know Tide Kubo's like backing it and adding stuff to it.
You know, you're right. You're right. Maybe. I'm just looking up what game. I think he's just in a phone game. He's in a light novel, and he's in Brave Souls. He's in a light novel. Hell yeah! I don't know how we're gonna.
All the important Bleach lore is at.
I don't know how we're gonna handle the light novels because they're technically important, but
are any of them even fully translated?
I know Can't Fear Your Own World just recently got a full English release, but there's still like Spirits Are Always With You and Death Save Strawberry. But I think though a lot of plot points did get translated because they were like events from like Spirits Are Always With You were in Brave Souls, and Brave Souls did get an English release. So technically that information is accessible in English. Ichigo, well, that bitch is dead. That's a filler character. We'll never see you guys again. Who gives a crap? This is filler. We'll never see these characters ever again. To quote ProZD. But yeah, that's all I had to say about the Forest of Minnows. You can skip it. It's technically like soft canon. It might make a comeback. It might be relevant later. Probably not. It's only 3 episodes, so why not watch it? It's not that bad. Or a fan of Bleach. It's not that bad. Listen, it's healthier than drinking Bleach.
That's right. That's a fact.
That is a solid fact. Cannot argue. So, do you have anything else to say about these episodes? Like, that's pretty much all that happened. Orihime, Ichigo gets his mask. Orihime, says goodbye and goes, helps Aizen and heals Grimjaw, and then they go to Wako Mundo. It's Ichigo, Uryu, Chad, Rukia, Renji, Nell, and the her two brothers. Her snake stays outside of Wako Mundo. Her snake is not relevant ever again. Her snake pet is not relevant again. I don't even know why he was there. I guess just to be a ride to Wako Mundo.
Never shows up in the opening. They're always running in the openings.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like Wako Mundo.
Is he even canon?
Yeah, they don't really run that much.
Is he even?
Is he canon?
That's a good question. Bawa Bawa is his name. No, Bawa Bawa is canon. He was in the manga. He just never is relevant ever again. Oh no, I guess Bawa Bawa does come back. Oh, okay. No. Bawa Bawa is relevant for like one more scene. But that's spoilers. I just looked up his Wikipedia page. Not his Wikipedia page, his Bleach Wikia page. Oh, did you know that Nun Pizza Left Beef does have a Wikipedia page? I talked about this on the most recent Pikmin stream. You want me to send you the Wikipedia page for Nun Pizza Left Beef?
I'm okay. I do want to say one thing, though.
Too late. Too late.
Well, now I got it. I'm glad. I was not aware that the author of Bakuno and Durarara wrote one of the Bleach light novels where Bawa Bawa shows up in it.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I knew that there were, like, Tide Kubo did not directly write the light novels, but I didn't know that they had that guy. So that's cool. I think that guy also wrote a Index, like, side story. Hold on, what was it? What's his name? We're done talking about Bleach. We're just buying time. Ryogo Narita. Index. We're gonna find it. You can't stop me. I will not be stopped. Oh yeah, he wrote Can't Fear Your Own World. Okay, that's crazy. I read like I bought that and read the first couple pages, assuming that it took place in between, because there's another light novel that takes place in between the time skip later on. But no, it takes place like after the current anime, so I'm like, I don't want to spoil anything, so I stopped.
Yeah, that's why I haven't looked too much into stuff, even though I really want to see more about the guy who's in Can't Fear Your Own World. He's like one of my favorite lieutenants. But... Is he a lieutenant? He's a lieutenant, right? I believe so.
The guy with 69 on his face, that guy?
What a
forget
tragic
his...
number.
There is a reason why he has 69 on his face. It's a spoiler reason. We'll talk about it when we talk about it, but
I don't think it's a good reason.
it's not a good reason. You're right. So. I've lost it. I swear he made an index, like he made like a random index side story, but I might just be absolutely insane, or I might be thinking about somebody else. Whoop. Yeah, I'm not finding anything as indicated by my computer noise. Anyway, next time, the big funny sex number. He found out about 69. He's like, haha, wouldn't it be like a great joke if I painted this on
my character? Don't worry, guys. It's totally legit. There's a good reason for it.
It's not a good reason. Anyway, next, I will actually say 2 because I'm leaving for 2 weeks. So, and then the next one is a movie. The next that we're gonna discuss is a movie. So we will do a movie watch along next time, which is the Diamond Dust Rebellion, which this is the Toshido movie, the Toshido Hitsugaya movie. So in case you were asking if the Toshido movie was the second or third one, it's the second one, 100%.
Awesome. I love Hitsugaya, so I'm actually excited for this watch along, and my internet will not cut out, surely.
Hopefully. I'll be honest, I don't remember a whole lot other than the first movie. Like, I remember, like, back in the day, like, the first movie was, like, my favorite and the one I rewatched. But it might just be because the first movie was the one I owned on DVD, so maybe that's why I liked and rewatched it so much. So, I don't remember anything of Diamond Dust Rebellion, so it'll be a new experience for both of us. But also, because I'm leaving for 2 weeks and we only have a movie, I will also tell you what the next batch of episodes is. Which is... 1/3.
I'm covering it.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
That's a really cool picture. Is that official art?
That is official art. It's like one of the like splash pages for the like manga. Like sometimes they have like not like the covers for like the volumes, but like sometimes they'll have like colored like splash pages to introduce the chapter. But yeah, there are a lot more. The anime picks up again after this. Like there's a couple of like slow fights that don't really matter, but there's also a lot of like there's 2 really good fights in this next batch of episodes. And then after this, it definitely picks up. So yeah. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks, and then if Azerad's not available, that like August 6th, like when I get back, like then I'll have to wait another week or 2. So if you're behind on Bleach, catch up. Also, to episode 149, is also, halfway through the canon episodes. Because there's about, like, 200 canon episodes, and after we get to this point, we'll have watched 97. Right? Yeah.
Right.
Last 2 things before I take... also, I know I said last time, I think I wanted to take, like, a break from Bleach, because I'm, like... During my debut, I'm like, yeah, I want to talk about all sorts of different kind of anime. And then we started this Bleach series, and I've just been talking about Bleach. So I do want to talk about other anime. I don't want to just be the Bleach tuber. But what I think I'll do is I still want to continue talking about Bleach. So what I was thinking is that we do like every other time we talk about Bleach. So like one discussion is Bleach, and then the next discussion is like another anime, and then Bleach and another anime, kind of like, what's that word? I've lost it. Like stagnate.
It's
not stagnate. Stagnate
That's
means
the first word that came to my mind.
It's the wrong word. I'm an English teacher. Stagger. I think it's stagger. Like stagger. The Bleach discussions. Because again, I don't want the Bleach discussions to take too long, because again, the whole point of this is to like go through the entire series and kind of get like a Because again, I think a lot of the reason that people don't like Bleach is because most people watched it week by week. And if you watch Bleach week by week, then you're subjugated to all the terrible padding and filler. And basically, like, what we just discussed in, like, these last 2 or 3 discussion videos, I think it was only 2, basically covered, like, 2 years of Bleach, you know? Because I would consider everything from, like, 64, which was January 2006, all the way up to, like, basically now, 137. 138? Huh? I messed up. This is not the right number of episodes. Hold on. It's 167. It's 150 to 167. I'm dumb. Hold on. Why am I not good with numbers? I double checked these like 15 times and I'm still bad with numbers. It is 150 to 167. Azerad?
Yes?
Why am I so bad with numbers?
Oh, I am not sure.
Oh, I don't know about it. I can't help you with that one. There's just some, like, weird mental block I have with numbers.
You've asked me quite a few questions tonight that I just can't answer.
Frick. My stupid broken mouse is not helping. I'm trying to fix this and my broken mouse is not helping. Hold on, I'm fixing it. I'm getting it fixed. But yeah, basically it's episode 64 to 149, which is almost 100 episodes, is very slow. But if you skip all the filler, then you can go by. But yeah, that's what I was saying before about how, like, you know, I do want to go through this series kind of fast. Because, like, I do want to give people an overall view of this series. Because I think when you skip all the fillers and you don't have to trudge through all the, like, low points of the series, like, when you're not hung up on the low part of the series for, like, 5 years, then the series is, like, it's insurmountably better. Here we go. Now we got the updated episode count. 150 to 167. So, if you follow my filler list... Also, I'm going to take a quick screenshot of my filler list. Just so... I mean, if you just look at the videos, if you go to the playlist and just look at those videos, I list the episode titles there too, but just in case you also want them here, I will give you the, I will give you this list too. I will show this list on screen. Stupid broken mouse. I need a new mouse, I'm sorry. Maybe I can look for a new mouse while on my trip. Anyway, here are the good episodes. 1 to 17, 18 to 40, basically 1 to 63, and then 110 to 127, 138 to 149, and then 150 to 167. Which is 97 episodes. Again, I'm really bad at math, but I'm like 90% sure it's 97 episodes last time I did math. So if you are behind, I think Biffy was trying to catch up and he got behind. Yeah, you have like a month to catch up. Or not, you know. People are enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope Azerad is enjoying it. Are you enjoying it, Azerad?
I am.
Yeah. So, you know, watch anime, don't watch anime. It's fine. We all not bust dust in the wind. But yeah, next time we will watch the movie and then discuss the next batch of episodes and then talk about another anime that Azerad may or may not be there for.
Hooray.
Because I mostly convinced Azerad to be on stream just because we're talking about Bleach. That's how I lured him out of his cage. I'm sorry, his what's that called? An enclosure?
Enclosure?
His habitat. His habitat. His domesticated area. You know what I mean? Anyway, but you know, Azerad, you want to talk about other anime too, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the anime if I'm qualified to talk about it or if I have anything important to say.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I do want to talk about other anime. I also just want to make other anime videos about anime. Like, my seasonal prediction chart was a lot of fun to do, and I want to do other anime. I have some stuck in the back. Anyway, but that's it. I'm gonna leave for like 2 weeks. We will be back. I will be back on August 6th. I think I come back on August 5th, and then I'll probably be back streaming August 6th. So we might just do it then if Azerad's available. If not, probably the next week. We will see. I know. Yeah. I know 2 weeks ahead of time, you're not going to know if you're available or not.
We'll have to see.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you all for coming. I hope you all enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed. I think I said everything I needed to say. Did you DM me? Oh. We're having bathroom issues again. Sorry.
Can only hold it in for so long.
Hey guys, it's Wario. Oh, I really gotta poop. It's running down my butt. I'll send you that video. I think it's called Living with Wario episode 2. Anyway, we're ending. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta go get packed up for my trip. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Azerad, for discussing.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, and next time, more anime. I like anime! And manga. Okay. Say goodbye, Azerad.
Bye.
Okay.
See you next time.
Yeah. Stay fresh. See you next time, and stay fresh, cheese bags.